The world has pushed us, beaten us down, and then are confused why we have had enough. Hey, it's your bae from Busan and welcome back to my channel. So I know that it has been forever since I have filmed something for you guys. Actually, no, I've filmed a lot of things, but it's been forever since I've actually uploaded. And I want to talk about that a little bit today. As usual, I don't have any script, so I'm just talking off the dome of my head. Speaking of the dome of my head, do you see what your girl is rocking? Yes, I did my very own twist out. She's cute. I'm cute. Also, if you hear some noise in the background, I am running the AC because Lord have mercy, Busan is so hot right now. So I decided that I wanted to get on here today with you guys and I wanted to do another makeup look, and it's not zombie related, don't worry. I decided that I want to do a look that shows how I feel about my blackness. As you guys know, in the world, a lot of things has been happening internationally. And they've been happening for 500 years, but for a lot of people they just started happening, and it's been a lot to process. And in the fashion of processing, I've had a lot of people messaging me, asking me about my experience, about my feelings about being so far away from the situation but also so close to it, and I didn't know how to address these people. So if you're one of those people that message me and you got like a weird impression from me, I'm really sorry. I don't process grief very well. So for me, having people ask me some of the questions that I was asked, it kind of, because I was so sensitive, it kind of put me in a bad place. So with all that being said, I am going to do a makeup look today, as well as I'm going to be answering some of the questions that people have been sending me about my experience dealing with the loss of George Floyd and many other people whose names need to be said. All of these people that we've lost in such a short amount of time and so unnecessarily. So I will be talking about that experience while also doing my makeup. As you guys know, I am not a booty guru. I just enjoy makeup, and I've been wanting to do this makeup look since everything went down. It is a makeup look that was inspired by my pain, by the pain of my people, and I hope that it looks cute. Oh my goodness, I hope I can show like it in a beautiful way, and I hope it doesn't come out as mad disrespectful. That's a little better, right? You guys already saw my shirt, right? So this shirt, it says Black Lives Matter, and it also says Black Lives Are Precious. And a lot of people ask me where I got this shirt from, and I will put in the description, and I'll probably put it right here too. This is a Black-owned business in Seoul, and they sold it. They sold these shirts as well as gave you free masks, and a lot of the money went towards the foundation that the football player created so that he could help get legal fees for people of color. And I'm gonna put that here in like a more eloquent way. Eloquent? Okay. So bear with me, since everything has happened. I feel like I've experienced a lot of brain farts. I don't know why, but I've been experiencing a lot of brain farts. I can't remember words for some reason. First, I want to start with brutality. So brutality in itself is something that I'm quite familiar with. Growing up in the States and growing up Black, you know at least one person that has experienced police brutality. And what I found in talking with older people and researching things is that they remember the Rodney King police brutality, and that sparked so much outrage at the time. So for those people, it's quite familiar but still frustrating that they are still dealing with these kinds of issues in today's times. I don't necessarily remember Rodney King's beating. I've always known about police brutality, so when so many people are surprised, I'm kind of surprised because it's something that I don't feel like I grew up without knowing. I think for a lot of people like me, we grew up knowing the worst things about our history. We grew up knowing we were slaves. We grew up knowing we were stolen, knowing that we were ripped of our culture. We grew up knowing that we had to fight for the right to be a human being, essentially, because we were only 1/3 human. We were property, and we had to fight for everything we have. And so we've had to adopt that mentality that the world's against us, and if we want a slice of life, or to actually be able to live it, we need to fight for what we want. That started with voting, that started with emancipation, that started with being able to work places, to be able to read. So we fought for those rights. So for us, we've been knowing about the struggles of Black people since we were pushed out into this world. First I found out about Ahmaud, and Ahmaud hit kind of rough because Georgia is actually where my family lives. The situation was so ridiculous that someone could be jogging and be profiled as a dangerous person, that somebody like that could be seen as not only a threat, but someone whose life does not matter as much as another person's. Rubbed me the wrong way, to say the least. And then we get into the Breonna Taylors, and then we get into the George Floyds. And for me, why am I using that? Okay, I'll just use this. And for me, it wasn't that George was the final straw, but I felt this anger inside that once again, someone that has not committed a crime, let alone committed something that brought harm to any other human beings, was killed, while people that are welcomed into churches and shoot everyone inside, people that shoot up schools, those people can be taken into custody with like Burger King and barely a paper cut. And I think the hardest part for me, that there's no human way that anybody could witness that, be causing it, and sleep and eat meals. So for me, George was rough. And then when people started protesting, people started rioting, it was hard to keep up with everything. And I remember I tried very hard to keep up with everything. I wasn't sleeping because a lot of the news, a lot of the actual information out there was being presented in the wee hours of the night here. So I wasn't sleeping, and I was kind of dazed. Like I was going through my life in Korea just kind of dazed, and I wasn't engaging in much. And I remember telling a friend, I don't know when it's going to hit me, but it's going to hit me hard. I wanted to be prepared, but also I didn't want to try to manufacture my emotions. As the riots happened, as we saw police continuing to just be the crappy human beings that they are, framing people, we saw them hitting people, we saw them cutting up bottles of water, we saw them tasing people, and it just fills you with this anger, or at least it should. I'm getting off on a tangent. With that being said, I went through the first few weeks feeling quite numb, and then I spent some days where I would just have to go to the bathroom between classes and cry. There's been too many cases, and I've been here, a Black person that looks like the victim, and there hasn't really been anybody that's like asked me anything. They'll be like, so how's the situation in America? But they haven't done any research for themselves, basically. I feel anger, and I feel alone, and I feel like nobody is paying attention, and nobody cares. And that's a hard feeling to have. Even when the news was in Korean, people weren't really talking about it. So it was kind of frustrating. That's kind of the case. That's been the case here. It's just a bunch of people going about their lives. And for me, sometimes I get a little jealous of that. I'm not gonna lie. I wish ignorance could be bliss. I wish I could just go through life not knowing what's happening, getting pulled over and knowing I'm going to go home after this. It seems like a really cool privilege. Moving on, I know a lot of people have been wondering how Koreans have been reacting to the situation. And I kind of alluded to that a little bit before, but that's not entirely all. Some people just not know what's happening in general, or they just know what the media tells them, which is that we're super angry about Floyd, and therefore we're stealing TVs from Target. I know you may not understand what's happening yet, but don't worry, it's gonna come together. So if I'm rambling, just know your black friends are tired. Your black friends are tired and they're emotionally unstable, and it's affecting every part of their lives. And we're losing so many friends and so many people that we love, both to police violence and to racism. And it hurts, because it kind of feels like you don't care about me. Like, if you don't care about what happens to my people, you don't care about me. And it's a very alone, isolating feeling. Like, I feel more alone than I did with quarantine. So I've been trying to figure out ways to get around that. And one of the things is that recently Koreans decided to support Black Lives Matter. And we've actually had a few gatherings in Busan. It was here. So there was a peaceful gathering. Held on the beach. There's actually going to be two. I'm not sure when I'm posting this, but I'll be at both of them. If you see me, holla at your girl. As you guys know, as your bae from Busan, I gotta be in that thing. I gotta be in there like swimwear. I gotta be letting you know what's going on. So I went ahead and went, and it was very cathartic because I was able to be amongst people that gave a damn. Foreigners just can't protest in Korea, period. If you protest, you risk deportation. So it makes it a lot harder to talk about injustices here. And so what ended up happening was the organization, which I will put below, they ended up getting a permit to peacefully gather, which means that you just stand in one spot and you don't chant, you don't say anything, you just pass out educational information, and you can do posters. And that was still very nice because we were able to give out hand sanitizer to people. We were able to show our support, and for a lot of us, especially people of color, we were able to feel like we were doing something, because it feels kind of, I feel kind of guilty that I haven't been able to do anything, even though I know it's against the law. My DNA wants to do something for my people. So I've been tasked with educating. I've been asked by my school to teach the students about Black lives. I actually did that today. At first, when she asked me to share with students, I went back and forth, because one, it's a lot to ask someone to do. Telling minors about that, which we all know, even when you were a kid, you were barely listening to adults about things that were happening. So I had a lot of worries that I was too attached to this fight, and if students were detached, then it would hit me so hard that I wouldn't be able to easily recover from it. And And then I kind of feel like a hypocrite because I always preach this authenticity in the classroom type of thing. And, you know, telling this story, I'm the only person that can tell it. I was having a lot of back and forth in my mind. And the only thing that really made me decide to do it was that I had my co-teacher's support so much. She was doing her own research. She was, you know, going to be in that classroom helping me translate everything, making sure students weren't sleeping. And that gave me the confidence that I needed to be able to tell students about it. And I wanted to do it without emotions. I wanted to be able to get my words out because I haven't been able to. Because I haven't been able to. And I was able to do that with my students whom I deemed to be really I'm gonna cut all this out. Y'all not even gonna see any of this. Being able to share those things with my students whom I hold to such a standard in my life, and therefore being able to share something so personal with them was scary, terrifying, but also very therapeutic. And having students receive it was so amazing. I don't take it for granted. And I would definitely insert some pictures here of their work. They made protest signs and it was amazing, and I was so grateful. I haven't been on my channel. I've recorded like 4 videos and I haven't posted any of them because I needed to mourn. This is officially my comeback to YouTube with another crazy look. I wanted to show that this has been an emotional time, but that through our tears we cry gold. And we are so worthy of understanding, of love and support, and the benefit of the doubt. There's been a lot of great success that has taken place, and there's so much work to do. I'm trying to do my part, and I hope you will too. So thank you for watching my video. I know this makeup look kind of looks crazy. I hope I answered some questions that people have been having about how it feels to be Black in Korea during this situation. Just know that Black Lives Matter, but this is an issue for everyone. And in caring about Black Lives Matter, you can sign lots of free petitions. You can also donate some of your money to all these wonderful causes that are helping people get the legal help that they need, also holding police accountable. So without further ado, I'd like to say please like and subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much for watching. I've said that like a million times. Okay, I'm gonna go now. Bye!
Back on that, I want to thank you guys for coming out. Like Jamar said, we just really wanted to do something. We felt kind of like we're all here in Korea and we don't have the same problem here with police. So we are very comfortable, but we as Black men and other Black people, we have experienced this back at home, and our families are still there, and our friends are still there, and all right, go. We just want to show that. People in Korea we support, you know, and
yeah, bro, we're here with you, bro.
And thank you guys.